Greetings, kind viewers. I'm Cedar, the forest spirit. The good-hearted Native American people thank you for respecting our Mother Earth. Throughout the history of mankind, the divine messages are often shrouded in mystery. Prophets, messiahs, or whichever names you call them, are often persecuted and oppressed, their words obscured. But how do we distinguish the true from the false? To do so, one can only rely on the divine's guidance, and the truth will reveal itself to those who earnestly seek it. The Honorable Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr. is a member of the Ihanktonwan, Dakota, and Chickasaw nations. He was formally recognized by elders from across North America as a hereditary chief, owing to his noble lineage of leadership and longtime service to indigenous peoples and greater humanity. In 1982, he founded the Four Worlds International Institute, or FWII, which has become an international leader in the holistic development of indigenous communities. With master's degrees in education and public administration, Chief Lane also served as a university professor and government consultant, among other distinguished positions. He has also produced and/or was featured in award-winning documentaries. For his tireless contributions, Chief Lane has received many awards, such as the WinStar Award and the Swiss Foundation for Freedom and Human Rights International Award. Today, we are honored to introduce the Honorable Chief Phil Lane Jr., who will share some of the Native American prophecies giving great hope for our world's future. Prophecy of the Reunion of the Condor and the Eagle.
Many people know it by the reunion of the condor and the eagle. The condor are the relatives to the south, South America, and to the north of the eagle. I traveled to Bolivia in 1970 because of this prophecy, because of my faith in this prophecy. And there I had the opportunity to meet many wonderful Quechua and Aymara teachers, elders. And I had heard and knew about the prophecies on the eagle side. And I'd heard about it, but they began to explain and enhance more understanding. And so it's actually the reunion of the condor, the quetzal, that's the Central America, and the eagle. What most people don't understand is prior to the arrival of Columbus, we had an incredible civilization across the Americas. And so our prophecies prior to 1492 across the Americas, and explained in different ways, essentially said this: a great spiritual wintertime is coming. And this great spiritual wintertime will last for 500 years, about 500 years. And during this time, you will go through tremendous tests and difficulties as other members of the human family. But if you keep having faith, if you keep praying, then not only will you emerge from that winter time when the spiritual springtime comes, you'll emerge stronger than ever. And so this prophecy, in fact, was, as you know, it happened. The wintertime came. And so we knew in 1992 would be a huge turning point, but there were signs on the way. One of the prophecies says When the time comes to begin to arise, you shall see an eagle fly to the moon and land. Of course, 1969, the spaceship called the Eagle landed on the moon, and the very first words transmitted to Mother Earth, to the human family, was, "The Eagle has landed." So we knew our time had come. The winter time was over. The time of preparation had been finished, and we were ready to begin to arise.
According to the prophecy, the eagle and the condor would come together and fly in the same sky. This means that people across the Americas would join efforts to bring about a great era of peace, justice, and prosperity, affecting all members of the human family. In particular, the indigenous people and supporting allies would play a leading role in this spiritual movement. Fulfilling the prophecy, since the early 1990s, interest in Native American teachings has increased, and the indigenous people have become more open to sharing their wisdom. Many constructive meetings and unified actions have been taking place all over the globe for various causes, such as reconciliation, human rights, and climate change.
So, as we're beginning to unify now, stronger and stronger, and you must have heard of the Standing Rock, where we stood up at Standing Rock against that pipeline, where they had all these thousands and thousands of people, all these tribes, the biggest, well, that was just the beginning. That brought many tribes, many nations, many human beings together because they knew we were destroying Mother Earth. And so what we see unfolding is a fulfillment within what we're doing, that we're bringing back the natural laws, and we're finding others who also understand that this universe we live in is organized according to certain natural laws or guiding principles, these first principles of life. In 1975, I traveled down to a place called Sweat House Lodge. The Sweat Lodge is one of our ceremonies for purification. And there was two elders down there. Eddie Belrose was a Cree, he's passed on, beloved man, and Abe Bernstick. And all the time they were sharing all these prophecies, and I've seen them all come true. And one of the things he said to us, he said, someday, you young men will see the everywhere spirit made physically manifest on the earth. And when that day comes, you will be able to look right into the eyes of another person, and they'll be able to look at your eyes, even though you're in completely different parts of Mother Earth, and you'll be able to communicate with each other. And then he began describing every detail of the emergence of the internet and all these new technologies that are now enabling us to communicate broadly. So all these circles are coming together, just like Black Elk prophesied. All these circles are coming together, that everywhere Spirit's helping us.
We now continue our interview with Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr. about some of the major Native American prophecies being fulfilled today.
Black Elk's Vision.
One of our great visionaries' name is Hehakasapa, Black Elk. And there's a beautiful book that's been translated to many languages called Black Elk Speaks, in which he gives these great prophecies, these great visions that were given to him are shared. What he sees is where we came to in our deepest, darkest days as indigenous people, where we were almost completely devoid of any hope. But then he says, and we came to the highest mountain of all. But with all their effort, they climbed to the first level. They felt stronger. They climbed to the second, level, they felt stronger even more. Into the third level, even stronger more. Until finally Black Elk said, "And I found myself standing on the highest mountain of all. And I looked down below, and I saw the sacred hoop of my people. The sacred circle of my people was a hoop of many hoops, a circle of many circles. And in the center stood a mighty flowering tree overshadowing the children of one father and one mother." And he says something so beautiful. I'm sure any spiritual wayfarer will understand what he said. And he said, "I saw more than I could understand, and I understood more than I could say, for I was seeing the shapes of all things as they should live together in harmony and unity."
As Black Elk's prophecy continues, we find a vision not only of peaceful harmony, but also a promise of receiving the key of enlightenment.
And then I turned to the east, and two men were coming, and between them rose a daybreak star with four blossoms, red, yellow, black, and white. And they said, "With this herb of understanding, you shall have power over all things." And I took it and dropped it upon the earth, and where it fell, there was no more darkness. So that sacred prophecy has played a huge part in my life.
As Chief Lane has pointed out to others before, the oneness of humanity has been recognized by modern science, anthropology, genetics, etc., clearly recognize that there is only one human race. Scientists have found that all people on Earth share a common ancestor from only 3,400 years ago, and that all human beings are 99.9% identical in their genetic makeup. This supports the native teachings that we all originally came from one father and one mother.
That we're all one human family, and the hurt of one is the hurt of all, and the honor of one is the honor of all. And that is the primary message that I believe we need to wake up to, the reality. Because until we do that, we're separate, but we're really one. We're awakening to that spiritual reality right as we speak, everywhere, all at once, on Mother Earth. Another prophecy that's so important is that at this time, that we would meet other human beings from everywhere in the four directions. And together we would come together in a good way, in a principle-centered manner. And we'd come together and there would be world peace. And that is where we're moving towards.
Sharing this vision of a united, peaceful global family, Supreme Master Ching Hai, for decades has been encouraging friendship among people of all cultures through many ways, from her attire and interactions while traveling the world, to her guidance of Supreme Master Television's multicultural programming. To her welcoming of the diverse ethnicities represented at our association gatherings, and so on.
I'm so happy to see you. Black, white, yellow, and red, whatever.
Etc.
It is an illusion that we are many. After enlightenment, you see, we are all one. There's only one spirit, one unity, one great being in all of us.
我们像每一滴水在大海里面，既然每一滴都是特别的，每一滴都是个人的，不过每一滴也是大海，所以我们不是陌生的人。You want to see what God looks like? Okay, you look at your behind, your front, your neighbor, right and left. That's what God looks like. Each one of us house God inside. So treat each other as God, and you will see how much different life made day after day. Rich people, poor people, we all one. When your finger get hurt, your body feel hurt too. Peace comes when we elevate all the whole world consciousness. So don't point finger at this and that leader or this and that group. The whole world shared happiness and sorrow all together. I mean, we are all to be blamed and we are all to be cherished. We are all to be respected and we are all to be loved. We all share this home together.
In our previous episode, Chief Phil Lane Jr. told us about the famous indigenous prophecy of the reunion of the condor and the eagle. It foretold a time when the condor and eagle, symbolic of the people of South and North America respectively, would reunite and lead the world to a brighter future. But in another interpretation, the eagle and condor represent the two different paths that the human race has taken over history. The eagle represents the path of the mind, of the industrial, of science and technology. the condor represents the path of the heart, intuition, and connection with nature. In our present civilization, the eagle side has over-dominated, and the condor side is now saying that we can no longer have an economy based on harming others and abusing Mother Earth. The time has come for the condor and eagle to join to create a new offspring, a higher human consciousness that balances heart and mind. Chief Phil Lane Jr. elaborates on the importance of this balance.
When you have spirituality without reason, without science, you have fanaticism. At the same time, when you have science without spirituality, without values, you create a Frankenstein. And that's exactly what's happening today in the world. We have created this incredible tools that can build and will build in the future a whole new global civilization, but it's being now to send drones on people, to harm people, to hurt people. And so that's because of the lack of spirituality. So really the solutions facing us, they're spiritual solutions. For instance, the economic issue. This needs a spiritual solution because people who are greedy, people who believe that life is about acquiring physical things, they'll find every way they can to get out of anybody if you say sharing. It's when the heart changes and they realize these growing disparities, these growing extremes of wealth and poverty. I can't live in a world like that. And so from their heart, they give, they share.
Fully aware of the dangerous imbalance in our world's development, Supreme Master Ching Hai has also been advocating the very change symbolized in this native prophecy, a higher consciousness.
When we have developed to a certain extent technologically, and we are not balancing it with the spiritual awakening, then we do not know how to handle the progress. And then we will bear, the consequences of our incomplete knowledge of technology. We have to balance it more with spiritual understanding, with the high nobility and excellent moral standard. Then we will not have destruction on earth. We will have only blessing, bliss, and even technologically comfortable life.
We have proof of many civilizations which have been buried under the ground due to the tendency of following negative paths. The history has proved all this. They have progressed up to the very top level of civilization. Also to the very top level of electronic and mechanic development. But even then they forsook God, forsook the right principle of life. So they also gone down. These discoveries should be the great lessons for our generations, many other generations to come. But sometimes we human don't learn so fast, but we forget very fast. So we bring upon ourselves great disasters. I hope that what you have heard from me will be also spread out into the world, into all people, to all the corners of the world, to awaken our brothers and sisters in order to save our world. Because it is also a very beautiful planet. It could have been more beautiful. It could be more beautiful, and it will be more beautiful if all the people or most of the people in this world, is awakened to the higher level of consciousness, believing in the kingdom of God within themselves, believing that they have the almighty power within themselves, believing that if we are positive, if we respect beauty, truth, and morality, our world will become better and better and become a paradise.
Many prophecies from around the world say that there would be a transition or cleansing period before the Golden Age. As we saw previously in our multi-part series, the Native American Hopi tribe called this period the Great Day of Purification.
In studying the various scriptures, from Islam to Christianity to Zoroastrianism and all the things, symbolic terms are used. Sometimes a day means 100 years. There's spiritual interpretation. So the Great Purification refers to this time we're in right now, where we're purifying our hearts and minds. We're stepping into our spiritual adulthood on this Mother Earth and in this universe and in this galaxy. Whenever you move from one old paradigm to a new, there's always confusion and conflict. And so we're seeing that now. But we can see the end in the beginning. If you live in a world where you only think there's winter, and you look around, all the rivers are frozen, everything's white, there's no leaves, there's no flowers, it's cold, cold, bitter cold. That's what our prophecy said, the long spiritual wintertime of 500 years would pass. Very cold. Not very many warm hearts. But sooner or later we knew, because it's a natural cycle, the springtime would come. But if you only believe in the winter, and then all of a sudden, those first storms of spring begin to come. Thunder and lightning. And all of a sudden, even if there's the tiniest seed in the crack of a little rock, breaks open. And all of a sudden, where you thought things were solid, those rivers begin to rage. And if you don't understand this, there's such a thing as a springtime, because it is the end of the world, of the winter, because we've entered the spring. And so that's where we are. This is destined to last 1,000 years. 1,000 years of a day that shall not be followed by night.
Regarding the current time of purification on our planet, Supreme Master Ching Hai shared some valuable insights, such as the following.
The cleansing effect is very unpleasant to bear. But if people realize this is just a warning and change to a better, nobler lifestyle in love and peace, then all living on earth will be in unity. And let's pray that this happen very soon. We need it. We need a change in humans' consciousness. We need peace and love on this planet for a change. We've been living long enough in the shadow of wars, cruelty, troubles, famine, and suppression of all kinds due to the killing karma. We really need a breath of fresh air. We need peace, comfort, safety, happiness, and love among all beings on the planet.
It's easy to understand because if you think about it, here's the baby who's conceived in the mother's womb. We're growing our arms and legs and eyes and ears and lungs, our capacity to eat solid food, legs to move with, right? Hands to do things with. Do we need them here in the womb world? No. It's in preparation for this world. That's why we're going this. So what's our purpose in this life? Our purpose in this life is to grow our spiritual arms and legs and eyes and ears. That's what the purpose is. To be more kind, to be more compassionate, to be more loving, to bring unity in our lives, to support other people, to help the oppressed, to love and have compassion. This is no longer the time of prophecy. This is the time of the fulfillment of the prophecies. That's where we're here. We're fulfilling the prophecies.
To love and have compassion is humanity's purpose now, and as Chief Lane tells us, this must be extended to our diet and treatment toward animals.
Our prophecies are very clear that as we spiritually unfold in transformation, evolve in this next stage of our human growth and development, that we will leave behind the eating of meat and we'll eat more berries, nuts, and so forth. We know without question that one of the greatest contributors to climate change is a very, very cruel way, inhumane way we treat animals that we're using for mass eating.
Respected scientists recalculated and found that the meat industry is actually producing more than 50% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Meat is the number one cause of global warming. So the number one solution is to stop producing it. Logical, yes? So we all have to be vegan. It's a complete, benevolent, compassionate, humane lifestyle. The more vegan people, the more benevolent our planet's atmosphere, the more comfortable our physical life will be. And the more comfortable physical life, the more we can have a relaxation, peaceful heart to practice meditation. If we are wise, some people, the more high-tech instrument they have, the more they just enjoy material comfort and they forgot. Yes, but we are getting better. The whole human race is getting better. I feel that way, don't you? Yes. Yeah. So we have more vegetarian people now. I just see in the news, 32% people don't eat animal anymore, and 22% is getting rid of meat, and other is getting there. I'm very happy. Just too slow for me, but better than nothing. That means billions of animals' lives have been saved, and a lot of carbon dioxide and methane gas has been minimized. That's better already. And I hope your children's generation will inherit a better planet than we are having now. We all try to be diligent, and that will be done.
we're at the crossroads. And we believe we're taking the one towards peace, kindness, compassion. And so this springtime is arising in all of our hearts. Every day, more and more.
Welcome, faithful viewers. I'm Sedna, the Sea Spirit. Today, the Honorable Chief Phil Lane Jr., an internationally recognized leader in human, community, and economic development, will kindly relate to us the significant native prophecy of the white buffalo calf woman.
Prophecy of the white buffalo calf woman.
The white buffalo calf woman is who brought the Ocheti Shokowin, of which I'm part of, the 7 council fires, all our sacred teachings. There's a whole story of how that happened. They say at a time when our people were suffering greatly, that 2 young men went out to seek food. Of course, what they really needed, maybe they didn't know it, they needed spiritual food, because the people were fighting, the people were not in unity. And so as they came over this hill, they saw a woman approaching them. She was dressed all in white. And she was carrying something sacred, like a bundle on her back. And one of the young men realized she was a holy being, what we call a sacred woman. That's what we call Wiawakan. Wiawakan means a holy woman. Just the presence of this holy being changes people. It's just their presence, just their love. One of the young men didn't see her as holy woman she was. And he wanted to possess her. And so she saw that lust, that part of him. So she said, come. And then they were surrounded by a cloud, and the cloud was gone. He was nothing but some bones with worms and things crawling through. He was gone. She said, when you approach that which is sacred with impure thoughts, this is what happens to you. You know, when we don't live a good life, and maybe it doesn't happen instantly like her power, but if we don't walk in balance with these natural laws, you know, that's what happens. And she said to the other young men, you have been honorable. Please tell them to prepare a place for me, for I bring them a great gift. And so the other young men went back and they prepared this very sacred teepee. So she came and they'd prepared it. And she said, I'm bringing with me this sacred pipe. And as long as you respect and use this in a good way, you will live through whatever difficulties and come even beyond this.
The holy white buffalo calf woman praised the worthy Lakota people for their good qualities, such as being faithful to their promises, confronting others in times of sorrow, and having great reverence toward sacred things. She then spent the next 4 days imparting many detailed teachings to the men, women, and even the children on how to live in harmony, both culturally and spiritually. The white buffalo calf woman taught them an array of sacred ceremonies still practiced today, such as the sweat lodge for purification, the vision quest in which youth seek knowledge from the spirit world, and the highly important sun dance ceremony of renewal for the entire community. Above all, she taught them, lead pure lives. The white buffalo calf woman also encouraged respect for the elements of nature.
You realize that all your necessities of life come from the earth below, the sky above, and the four winds. Whenever you do anything wrong against these elements, there will always be some revenge upon you. You should reverence them.
Here, it appears that the white buffalo calf woman also referred to the universal law of cause and retribution. Supreme Master Ching Hai has expounded on this law in many of her lectures.
Every action provokes a reaction, and this is very scientific. You see, if we sow an apple seed, we will get an apple tree. And from that apple tree, after a while, it will bear apple fruit for us. This is a circle of life. If we kill, we cannot expect life from it. So now the root of our problem is that we have been unkind to our co-inhabitants, the living, feeling, walking, acting, loving beings like animals of all sizes and shapes. And we have also been unkind to our environment.
This isn't an act of God. It's farmers and ranchers intentionally destroying the land for more development.
If you look at the global emissions, they are still going up.
Another dire warning from scientists.
They can release toxins with potentially devastating effects for marine life.
Because of intense air pollution, officials are closing schools.
Remnants of our products have spread to every corner of the planet.
Environmental pollution contributed to the deaths of about 9 million people.
From all this, we cannot expect a better outcome. So in order to solve the problem that we are facing right now, we have to reverse our actions. We have to be kind to our co-inhabitants. Instead of killing them, massacring them, sacrificing them, we have to take care of them, to be kind to them, look after them. And instead of deforestation, we have to plant trees again. Take care of whatever environments that we have. And instead of polluting the planet, the air, we have to turn to, friendly energy and sustainable energy. Just reverse our actions.
Even a river is a super being. The earth is a super being. The sun is a super being. They are not just inert material planets. They are beings. They manifest themselves as rivers, as sea, as mountains, as earth, as stars, for the benefit of others. That's why the original people, they call Mother Earth, and very respectfully, because they can see it. Sometimes they can communicate also with the earth spirit or with the mountain. So the mountains can talk to you. The trees will tell you. So walk the earth with awe and respect. Look at the trees with love and reverence. Touch the plant with gratitude and admiration. Everything around us is from the divine and is a part of the divine. Not just human beings, not just animals. Be reverent with all things.
buffalo calf woman's spiritual teachings are symbolized by the sacred bundle she brought to the Lakota people, and especially the very special chinupa or pipe that she bestowed upon them. This white buffalo calf pipe still exists today. It is currently in the care of its 19th generation keeper, the Honorable Chief Arvil Looking Horse, who asked that it not be filmed to respect its sacredness. The white buffalo calf pipe represents a promise of peace not just for humans, but for all beings in creation.
Wakantanka, Great Spirit, smiles upon us because now we are as one. Earth, sky, all living things, the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged ones, the trees, the grasses. Together with the people, they are all related, one family. The pipe holds them all together.
The white buffalo calf pipe is also associated with the proper way of prayer.
The white buffalo woman showed the people the right way to pray, the right words, and the right gestures. With this holy pipe, she said, you will walk like a living prayer, with your feet resting upon the earth and the pipe stem reaching into the sky. Your body forms a living bridge between the sacred beneath and the sacred above.
Here we discover that the white buffalo calf woman truly was a manifested enlightened master who was able to teach the people how to connect with the spirit world by becoming like a living prayer. This reminds us of the way of divinely empowered prayer or meditation as was taught to us by Supreme Master Ching Hai.
There is a direct link to heaven within us.
그것은 바로 우리가 천상의 방법을 그대로 우리를 스스로에게 가르쳐서 행동하게 만드는 것이지요.
If we know where to push the right button.
그것은 바로 우리가 어떤 단추를 누르는 것이 옳은가를 바로 아는 방법과 같습니다.
But because this is invisible, therefore we have difficulty to find it.
그러나 이것은 눈으로 볼 수 없는 거기 때문에 찾기에 많은 어려움을 갖게 되지요.
The master is someone who knows where it is and can show us how to do it.
그러나 그 방법을 아는 스승을 만나거나 아니면은 그 단추가 어디에 있는지 아는 우리가 스승을 만나게 되면은 우리가 그렇게 할 수 있도록 잘 배울 수 있습니다.
There are many ways to reach heaven, but there are one accurate way and the quickest way.
천국에 이르는 길은 아주 많이 있습니다. 그러나 이 방법이야말로 가장 정확하고 그리고 아주 빠른 방법입니다.
In our bodies, in ourselves, there are many different places for different use.
그러니까 우리의 몸에는 많은 여러 가지가 있지만 사실은 그런 모든 것은 각기 다른 용도에 쓰여질 수 있습니다.
And there is one place for the connection with the Buddha's land or heaven.
그 중에 하나의 중심은 우리가 그 불국토나 혹은 천국에 이르게 할 수 있는 하나의 중심이 있습니다.
We are actually always in touch with heaven.
우리는 항상 사실은 천국과 서로 교통할 수가 있습니다.
But because of too much karma, we are unable to see.
그러나 사실은 우리가 많은 업이 있기 때문에 그 천국과 교통하는 데 문제가 있지요.
Therefore, if someone who has acquired this power they can help us to open this.
그래서 우리가 이 방법을 이미 터득하신 분이 우리에게 그 문을 열어줄 수 있도록 도와줄 수 있습니다.
Someone who has learned how to do it, we call that person a teacher or a master.
그래서 우리가 그 방법을 이미 배운 사람을 우리는 선생이나 혹은 스승이라고 부르죠.
This place within us is the only one place that we can establish our contact with the higher dimension.
그래서 오직 지금 이 세상에서만이 우리는 아주 높은 차원의 세계와 교통할 수 있는 방법을 배울 수 있는 기회입니다.
And only the master knows it.
When the beautiful white buffalo calf woman finished teaching the people, they begged her to stay among them. Lovingly, she declined but gave a promise, a prophecy, of her own return.
The 4 ages of creation are in me. I am the 4 ages. I will come to see you in every generation cycle. I shall come back to you. I shall see you again.
So she left the sacred pipe. And they saw her, she left. When she left, she rolled over. And first she was a red buffalo. Rolled over again, she was a yellow buffalo. Rolled over again, a black buffalo, and then she rolled over again, she was a white buffalo.
Universal flag designed by Supreme Master Ching Hai. Yellow race, red race, black race, white race, green for earth, blue for ocean, river. And the deep blue background is for the sky, heaven, meaning we are all one within God's love.
They call a white buffalo calf woman, white buffalo woman.
Some have said that the white buffalo calf woman appeared in the colors of the 4 symbolic human races, red, yellow, black, and white, to signify the future unity of our world in mind, heart, and spirit. The 4 colors that the white buffalo calf woman manifested can mean that this holy woman has 4 races of humans who are supporting her, working hard and diligently with her toward the ideal of uplifting the world. And why is she called the calf? Because a calf is pure and innocent and was a sacrificial symbol in that period of time. Maybe just as Jesus is likened unto a sacrificial lamb of God to wash away the sin of the world. And she works really hard, as do buffalo and oxen. Furthermore, buffalo, calves, and oxen are all vegan. Perhaps these were the messages that she wanted to convey to her followers and the future generations such as ours right now, so that we would be able to recognize her when she returns. However, she would come not to a world already at peace, but to bring peace to a troubled one. As Chief Arvil Looking Horse said,
"It was told that next time there is chaos and disparity on earth, she would return again. She said she would return as a white buffalo calf. Some believe she already has."
When our series continues, we'll find out why many Native Americans in recent decades have been joyful with hope that the prophecy of the white buffalo calf woman has begun to be fulfilled. our last episode, the Honorable Chief Phil Lane Jr., who is also an internationally respected community development leader, told us about the Native American legend of the White Buffalo Calf Woman, a holy messenger of God. When she first manifested in the sacred Black Hills of South Dakota, USA, the White Buffalo Calf Woman showed supernatural signs proving that she was not an ordinary beautiful young maiden. For instance, she floated instead of walked. Her exquisite white clothes were radiant, and her eyes were shining with great power. Chief Phil Lane Jr. explains that she was one of many great teachers sent by God throughout history to teach humans in their times of suffering. She instructed the Sioux people in many spiritual and cultural ways, profoundly shaping their civilization till today.
Most certainly, the White Buffalo Calf Woman brought a civilization that has endured till today. She represents a messenger of God, from my perspective. We have messengers. Everybody's had messengers. That's the reason why when I was a young boy, even, I always wondered to myself, why would a creator with such power to create this universe and these galaxies so powerfully large and interconnected and so perfect? So perfect. Why would he only send his truth to one people at one time in history? Why do we have to wait around in the Americas for 2,000 years for the truth to arrive? It seems to me that a kind mother or a kind father would make sure that all their children had teachers. And I believe there's many we don't even know about yet today.
In her lectures, Supreme Master Ching Hai often has spoken about this truth that enlightened masters have always come at every age to teach humankind.
Since the beginning of time, God always looked after mankind. Before Jesus, people sin, people suffer, people need God. So God also sent someone like Moses, like John the Baptist, and many before him. Yes, Moses also was the messenger of God. So before Moses and before many, many eons of times, God always sent 1, 2, 3, 4 of his messengers to the world in order to save us from our wrongful thinking and actions and bring us back to the kingdom of God. Otherwise, if only Jesus can save people, then the people who were before Jesus, the trillions of years before, there's so many people, God didn't love them, so it's not logical. I think if we really worship God and understand God, we could not believe that Jesus is the one and only. The Buddhist people also believe that Buddha is the only one. But if we think carefully, or if we get enlightenment, we know Buddha and Jesus are sent by God to save mankind in different period of time.
What most important is not the form, it's the spirit. That's why I say, I want to find the light from whatever lamp it comes from. I don't care what the lampshade looks like. I don't care if the lampshade looks old, broken, black, red, yellow, white, whatever color that lampshade, I don't care. I want the light. And wherever that light is, that's where I want to look. That's what I want to understand. So yes, we have spiritual teachers that are women. I think that there's holy women arising, very special women, very, very special women. I've heard of this wonderful, wonderful, beloved elder sister who has formed your network, Supreme Master Ching Hai. I've heard of her. I understand I haven't had a chance to meet her yet, but I've heard of her great love and compassion, how many people she's inspired. So they're holy women. We need holy women because as well as we need men to stand up and to live in a way that and walk the path so we make it visible. We have to walk the spiritual path so it's visible to everybody. We also have to walk the spiritual path with practical feet as well, and the mystical path with practical feet. Because we are both physical and spiritual beings, therefore we have to be in balance. But that means also I've got to keep this earth suit as clean and as pure as I can. And that's why, again, that prayer, O children of spirit, my first counsel is this, possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart, that yours may be a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting. That's who we are. And that's what these great teachers are coming to teach us about, that we are this. And to help us along the spiritual path, we've always needed guides. Well, we've always needed messengers from the Creator, ones that'll take us and show us and demonstrate by their very light, the light and love they have, that that's where I want to go.
For us, members of the Supreme Master Ching Hai International Association, as well as many others who have come to know her, we feel immensely fortunate and grateful for the presence of one beloved spiritual messenger of our times, Supreme Master Ching Hai. And at the core of her teaching is the very truth that Chief Lane mentioned, that our real self is great and everlasting.
After you die, you have no more chi. That vital prana, that vital breath only stay as long as you have a body in order to regulate the body. And after you're gone, it's gone. But the other, the wisdom, the all-pervading power is always there. Never die, never born. And we are that. It doesn't matter what kind of instrument we contain that power. It's still the same power. It's never changed, never die. So we will never die. Hell and death are only for people who doesn't know themselves, who doesn't believe in the everlasting power, who is not led to believe and to know that. Otherwise, we never die. We have to know that, and we know through Guanyin method.
As we saw in our previous episode, the white buffalo calf woman promised to return someday, to restore peace, balance, and spirituality to a troubled world. Similar prophecies can be found across the indigenous Americas. The Hopi people in the southwest United States believed that their great white brother named Pahana would return from the east across the ocean. Pahana comes from the Hopi word pahu, meaning ocean. Coincidentally, Supreme Master Ching Hai's name means pure ocean. Pahana is believed to be the same returning savior known as Kukulkan to the Mayans and Quetzalcoatl to the Toltecs and Aztecs. Chief Phil Lane Jr. points out that similar prophecies of this special one are actually found all over the world.
And so, if you talk about Pahana as well, they also have the same prophecy from the Toltecs and Quetzalcoatl. They said about these spiritual teachers coming from the east.
Do you think the return of either the Pahana or the return of Jesus Christ
the return of the fifth and most great Buddha, return of the 12th Imam, the return of Zoroaster, return of Krishna. They all talk about that time. Krishna said, I'm the birthless, I'm the deathless. I appear every time where injustice and depravity come to the earth.
Right. So this is the prophecies that actually shared in common by different religions.
Everywhere.
Similar to the prophecies about Lord Jesus Christ, Lord Maitreya Buddha, and others, the legend of the white buffalo calf woman says that she would come back at the end of an age to purify and pacify the world. In some versions, the white buffalo calf woman said that she would return as a sacred white buffalo calf. Other versions say that her coming would be signaled by the appearance of a white buffalo calf. The birth of a pure white buffalo calf is an extremely rare occurrence, with a chance of just 1 in a million. But on August 20th, 1994, a female white buffalo calf, aptly named Miracle, was born in Janesville, Wisconsin, USA. News of her birth quickly spread, and her human caregivers, Dave and Valerie Hyder, opened their farm free of charge 7 days a week to her many visitors, because they respected the sacred meaning she held for the Native American people. Over Miracle's lifetime from 1994 to 2004, thousands of visitors came and saw in Miracle a symbol of hope, renewal, and harmony for the world. In the prophecy, the white buffalo calf woman changed into a red, yellow, black, and white buffalo calf as she was leaving. Interestingly, Miracle, the white buffalo calf, also changed colors, from white to black, to yellow, and then to red. Although it is known for some buffalo to change colors due to genetics, age, or environmental factors, it is considered unusual to have that many color changes. But perhaps most significant is that ever since Miracle's birth in 1994 until today, the appearances of white buffalo calves have been increasing, although still very rare, with about 20 documented cases and counting. This time of change also fits the prophecy of the reunion of the condor and the eagle, which stated that a 500-year wintertime of hardship would give way to a springtime of peace and progress starting in 1992. Coincidentally, the early 90s is also when Supreme Master Ching Hai began traveling the world extensively to give lectures, sharing her light, blessing, and love. In particular, throughout 1993 and 1994, as part of her world lecture tours, she visited many cities from coast to coast across North America and also met with members of the Native American community in California. We will find out more about this special meeting when our series continues.
Welcome, caring viewers. I'm Bemela, the Snow Spirit. Like so many other world prophecies, Native American predictions point to our present time as the start of a new era. The indigenous people aptly call this era the new springtime. Our distinguished guest, the Honorable Chief Phil Jr., shares his insights.
There's many ways that people describe the new springtime. Mm-hmm. Some call it the fifth world. Mm. Some call it the fourth world. Some call it the eighth fire. So you'll find in all spiritual traditions the foretelling of this new springtime. Just like I was talking about the Lord's Prayer, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that's what I really believe we're doing, is that heaven is coming to earth.
So in your view, this new springtime is already here?
Oh, yes.
It's happening, right?
It's happening. It's happening. It's been happening for a while.
We have entered the springtime, the golden era, yet at the same time, as Chief Phil Jr. previously said, we are also undergoing a time of purification and crisis. Chief Lane's messages are not his alone. They belong to many fellow wise indigenous elders, past and present, some of whom have received inner visions of their own.
Our prophecies tell us that we are at the crossroads. We face chaos, disaster, and endless tears from our relatives' eyes. Or we can unite spiritually in peace and harmony.
It's time to bring the message of the urgent need for peace, of creating an energy shift throughout the world.
Our Mother Earth is suffering. Her wonderful gifts, the water, the trees, the air are being abused. Her children, the two-legged, the four-legged, those that swim, crawl, and fly are being annihilated. We see such atrocities occurring everywhere.
We argue, fight, and hurt each other, and we hurt the Mother Earth. Now, we will all have to live with that. It is too late to stop the Mother, who has to cleanse herself from all our ways of no respect.
For decades, Supreme Master Ching Hai has also been patiently sharing the same message as the ancient Native American prophecies. It is a message of urgent warning, but also one of hope.
There are two choices now. One is totally destruction. Another is go ahead with progress in all way of life, including spiritual. And the future is in our hands, really. So it's our duty to rescue people. If we love this planet, if we think it's a beautiful place, which it is, it takes billions, trillions of years to make one, until it's livable like today, so beautiful like this. So we have to also make contribution. If we can, we fix it. You can see so much disaster, almost end of the world, war all the time. World War I, World War II, almost World War III. If not World War III, then disaster. Everywhere. And if even not disaster, always some different disease coming out that people don't know where from and what to do with it. So we have to know that this world at this time is a difficult time. Yeah? It's a transition between the worst to the best. So if we don't meditate on this time, then we have been doomed. We would have been doomed, yeah?
So don't forget to do your prayers at home, so we will be able to eliminate some of these disasters which are taking place. Through our prayers, we may help Mother Nature to have leniency on us.
Pray or meditate. Follow your inner path and learn just how powerful you are, and learn that you are a leader for your people, your family, your children, and the Mother Earth. What happens within us happens in the world.
We must understand that such natural disasters are the consequence of the negative energy in our atmosphere. And this negative energy in our atmosphere is created by our feelings, our thoughts, and actions of either hatred, violence, and of killing so many humans and innocent animal lives. If we don't change our disaster-breeding, provoking way, then disaster will never end. We can only stop the disaster once and for all by tackling the root problem, that is, by stopping the killing of human and mass murdering of innocent animal life. Only when we walk in peace and love on this earth will the earth and nature respond peacefully to us.
In 1993, while giving lectures across the United States, Supreme Master Ching Hai also lovingly donated hundreds of thousands of US dollars in relief aid when two of the country's worst natural disasters occurred, namely the Great Flood in the Midwest and the Laguna Beach wildfire in California. In the fire's aftermath, Master was invited to share some words of comfort at an interfaith prayer ceremony for the victims. Seated next to her was the late respected medicine man of the Suquamish Nation named Thomas One Wolf. An instant friendship was born as he offered Master his personal emblem feather, a native symbol of high honor, and also wished to deliver a message to her.
The elders want me to greet you with honor, that you are the Great One. Thomas One Wolf, addressing Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Thomas was telling Supreme Master Ching Hai about his father, who was 95 years old, and his father had told them about this great messenger that he was about to meet, and that this messenger would be bringing the world to his door. And when he met Supreme Master Ching Hai, he believed that she was that messenger.
Thomas pretty much recognized Master from the beginning. That's what I remember. He was very touched by Master, by her presence, by her stillness, by her lightness of being at the same time. He asked her to have some moment with her and exchanged, a few words of how momentous, the time was and how we all, had a role to play in making things better and the goodness that she represented and the light that she carried.
After the ceremony, Master gave a message that is still meaningful today regarding our world's transition into the new era.
Whatever happened in our lives, it is kind of maybe unbalanced between the negative and positive. It is not the burning houses or it's not the disaster alone. It is the negative force at work. And that we have to reckon with. So don't think that the disaster here or anywhere are the karma of the people here alone. We also are responsible. Every time we think negative, we are responsible for disaster in the world or in our neighbor. So try to think positive all the time. Try to be loving and kind. Okay. Meditate more. Meditate more so that you add more positive energy to this world. Yeah? And refrain from doing something that is harmful to yourself and to other people. And that is minimizing the negative. And meditation, goodwill, is adding positive energy. And our world is bound to become better, 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 and then become the best.
The next day, Thomas One Wolf and his wife Sherry invited Master and some of her disciples to their home to join them and their friends for a special heartwarming visit. As Thomas One Wolf's adoptive father had envisioned, Master brought a mini world with our multinational association members to his door. According to the Honorable Native American Chief Phil Lane Jr., enlightened masters have always been coming to bless our world, helping to move our human civilization forward to a freer, more inclusive and advanced state.
So you see from the teachings of Abraham, their teachings about the family. And then Moses comes. And then Moses begins to teach about tribes. Okay, you see tribes emerging from that part of the world. Then you see the coming of Jesus, and you see city-states in that part of the world. Then you have Muhammad come, and you see again this incredible growth of mathematics. I mean, what was achieved in the sciences, algebra, by our relatives was unbelievable. But then you begin seeing the nation state appear. So it's logical from each step, family, tribe, city-state, nation. What's next? It's the coming together of the human family. As I shared before, one of our old stories, sacred stories. At the beginning of time, all members of our human family stood before the sacred tree with its branches overshadowing the children of one father and one mother. And each was given different gifts to develop. And now the time has come when we're bringing all our beautiful gifts together to create this incredible world of light that shall not be followed by darkness.
The gentle presence of each enlightened messenger has had a ripple effect that elevated our world in ways we may never fully perceive, and it is still true in our modern time. One autumn day in 1993, an intuitive kinship led a respected Native American medicine man to invite a living master and her disciples to his home. The time together was brief, but impressions were deep amidst joyful exchanges, songs, and laughter. In an inspired moment, Thomas One Wolf expressed what enlightened masters meant to the Native American people in sharing his thoughts about Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Her wisdom is knowledge shared. So every word that she speaks, when she is being of lightness and happiness and sharing a joke or that way with you, remember something. The only word you're really hearing is joy.
Right. That's beautiful.
When you are walking with her and you see people that will respect and honor her way and pay homage to her, then you are gifted by the gift of her peace. These are what masters are to the Indian. This is good that the whole world can hear. That the dragon from the east meets the eagle from the west. And they come together and they say, I love you. Then that is the world message. Masters have got the biggest job on the mother. They must share with the multitudes. And they are truly the picture I paint when I tell many like yourselves to listen. The thunder voices are coming. I will be doing a very special ceremony for the Master and all of you that walk with you and honor her. I hope and pray that this will make a resounding bell ring of peace that will strike the times, because truly it's the thunder voices that will carry the message. I can only do my part in the most sacred way I know. So our love in our hearts with all of you. You're very, very special. Grandfather doesn't make mistakes.
It's very, very special. The Indian people, they have preserved this kind of, sacred knowledge since thousands of years. And they pass it on one generation after another. And it's never diluted or polluted by the civilization, so-called civilization that we have now. So their tradition is one of the oldest, that's the most preserved. And I'm very happy to get to know the chief. We have taken time to come with us and to bless the people in this land. It's very good of you. Stay in your pure love.
Many spiritual elders from different tribes during the mid-90s, they were having visions. They were told to share their prophecies with the world. The urgency of their message was to come together as one human family in order to take care of the Earth Mother. And the idea of the dragon of the East and the eagle of the West, like Thomas Wanwolf said, was important because there were alliances happening around the world, bringing the entire human family together as one.
He told us about the World Vision Conference, and he wanted Supreme Master Ching Hai to come and be with the entire group where all of these world religions would come together and speak about the prophecies of the Native American people, and as regards to Mother Earth, that we really needed to come together as one human family, and that as one human family, we would help Mother Earth heal.
Although she was unable to attend due to her travels for prior commitments, Master asked for a group of our association members to be her representatives, conveying her love, especially to the Native American people. Master said that she felt they had endured a lot of hardship over the years and wanted to bring them some comfort.
She had asked that we come on her behalf to give her deep respect and love to the Native American people and to bring a message of hope for the future, that we may heal the wounds of the past and keep an eye toward a brighter future for all of us together.
In 1997, Thomas was the tribal representative of the United Religions Initiative, an organization inspired by the United Nations 50th anniversary to bring together all faiths around the world. And he was to give the opening prayer at the second annual Congress.
He turned to us with tears in his eyes and he said, Supreme Master has to give the prayer. Would you be able to ask her to send a prayer that I will speak on her behalf? And so she did send a beautiful prayer, and he ended up speaking that prayer to launch this initiative. And now there is a charter from all over the world, over 100 countries of interfaith leaders that are still working together.
That's right.
And that was launched with Master's prayer.
Yes.
Later, we found out that Chief Phil Lane Jr. has also been working as a Global Council Trustee of the United Religions Initiative. It's one of his many contributions to realizing the Native prophecies of unity.
Mitakiepi, I'd like to extend a very, very warm and loving handshake and embrace to Supreme Master Ching Hai. Warm and loving greetings. And I thank you so much for your interest in the indigenous peoples of the Americas and other places, but particularly here in what was formerly called Turtle Island or Canada, the United States, because there was tremendous suffering here, as you know. but we're coming back strong. Strong. I want to tell you that your students here, your devotees, are such beautiful people, and they represent you so well. They've been so kind and gracious to me. So I have to know their teacher must be a great, kind, and gentle and loving being who knows that each of us is a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, everlasting. And so we just send our prayers and our love and pray so strongly that your work to bring about and to support, as we all are working together, to the understanding that we're one human family. And I'm going to go further than that. The prior unity and oneness of the human family. In a way, this is the reunion of the human family. So I wanted to personally send this message to you, and I look forward to that time when we can have a more public visit, if that is something that would be good and be uplifting for all members of the human family.
Aboriginal people 本来他们已经很自然了，很环保，他们都做得很好了。事实上，他们在自然里面生活，已经非常自在，非常自然。他们不会污染很多。不过当然，他们可以提醒别人啊，怎么做的？比方说保护动物啊，多保护环境啊，多保护水源啊，等等。这个 Aboriginal 人啊，本来他们都有知道的很清楚，就是要帮忙提醒大家就对了。政府机关啊，现在全世界好像有这个风潮，就是说要很尊重原住民啊，都很尊重他们啊。比方说最近Australia 政府有公开承认原住民价值，他们的非常高等的价值，还有他们贡献给世界多伟大，他们的智慧多原始，多重要，对社会多重要。所以而且在越南也是一样，在越南优乐了，政府也是开始拥护原住民，还有帮助他们很多，拥护他们经济方面、精神方面，而且非常尊重，有一些尊重的风潮已经起来了。所以我觉得所有的政府应该做这样子一样的，原住民应该非常尊重、非常保护、非常拥护他们，而且跟他们学习一些他们的智慧。我认为。
Our deep appreciation, Chief Phil Lane Jr., for your beautiful sharing of the sacred prophecies of the Native American people. May the Great Spirit continue to bless your noble endeavors to unite our human family and awaken us to the reality of the oneness of all beings and oneness with Mother Earth. We are grateful to all the Native American wise and loving elders, including Thomas One Wolf, who have helped to keep the precious prophecies through the ages and convey their important lessons to our world. Our heartfelt thankfulness goes to our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai for uplifting our world and embracing all its people. May the sacred circle of life thrive in harmony forever. Often thinking of the indigenous people, Supreme Master Ching Hai caringly present a contribution of $50,000 to Chief Phil Lane Jr.'s Four Worlds International Institute for bringing aid and comfort to Native American children and women in need. With all love, friendship, best wishes, and sincere gratitude in Wakan Tonka's embracing eternal grace. Previously also, she has requested repeatedly if she can help the Native Americans in some way, but months went by without reply. Finally, she was advised to donate to some organizations that help them. So recently, Supreme Master Ching Hai instructed also our concerned department to offer $50,000 for each of the following organizations: Crossing World's Hopi Projects, the Southwest Indian Foundation, and Restoring Touch, to lovingly support them, to care for the Native American indigenous people who are in need, with all love and prayers for their wellness, as well as spiritual upliftment in God's eternal grace.
Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy and/or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for Here's compassion and love towards Here's precious children.
Thank you, genuine viewers, for joining us today. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. May the Great Spirit bless you and guide us all. For more details on Chief Phil Lane Jr. and the Four Worlds International Institute, please visit www.fwii.net.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AP.